Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our yellow green. We're going to start with our primary yellow. We don't have any green left, so how do we make green? Well, we could start by making green again. Or what we could do is go, oh, well, yellow-green is just a lighter version of yellow and blue than what the green is. So we just need less blue than we did when we were making green. We're going to get it in there and paint it. We can actually, do you see I'm mixing it right in the circle? It just needs to be more yellow than the Kelly green of our secondary color. Oop, we got a green on that corner. That's no big deal. We're just going to pick up a little yellow and blend it in. We want the overall circle to read like the color we're looking for. And there we go. Okay, so now we need bluish green. Well, bluish green contains green. So I have yellow on my brush. I'm still going to need it. So I might as well start with it. And pull a little yellow out. Didn't have to clean my brush. Bring some more blue over here. And what I'm looking for is something that's like teal. It's more blue than it is yellow. And look how fast we can get to that color. I think I'll add a little more blue into it. A nice teal color. If it's too close to that, if it feels too close to you, you just add a little bit more of the color you know you need. It's hard to subtract a color, obviously. If I had too much blue in here, it would be harder to subtract it. But the biggest thing you want to watch is that make sure that when you're going around your color wheel that you have, you're leaving the spaces you need for the colors that you need. Okay, so now we have blue and purple. My purple is dry, so I'm going to start by making more purple. Oops, supposed to start with the lighter color first and add the darker color into it. Now what I'm looking for is blue and purple make an indigo, where it's more blue and less red. And put it in there. That's the same, so I need more blue. And I'm just changing part of it. I'm not changing the whole thing because I only need enough to paint my circle, and I can save some of that other to do up here. So I love indigo. Indigo is a really lovely bluish purple color. And brush control with this particular brush. The bristles are longer. It's flopping around a little bit on me. Come back, pick it up. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to do violet. Violet is more red than purple. So I'm going to pull some red over here. I'm going to pick up some of that bluish purple stuff. It's not going to change things enough, is it? So I got to come over and get a tiny bit of blue. See how I got too much? I wiped it off on my palette. But I don't want to be wiping stuff all over the palette. It makes the palette kind of messy. I can work in very small spots. Even when I'm painting a painting, I don't need a ton of room to mix. Violet is the trickiest one to get. It's a more red than purple. Reads a little bit like burgundy, but you can see how it starts to have that really nice purpley color, violet color as I come around. It's less burgundy looking. Okay, so there is your primary, secondary, and tertiary color wheel. Now, what we can do is we can use the primary colors to make browns. Yellow, red, and blue make brown. We're going to start with some yellow. We're going to add a little red because that's the next darkest. What do we have? We have orange. What's the opposite is blue. See, the thing is that all of the ways to make brown include red, yellow, and blue. Here my brown is leaning a little bit too on the gray side. Add a little bit more yellow in. Warm it up a little bit. It's a little on the greeny, so add a tiny bit more red. There we go. That's a nice brown. I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to paint a wedge. It does not matter which wedge I paint. Do you see what a nice brown that is? I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to write in there what the colors are that I used. So I used yellow, red, and blue. And I'm just writing YRB. Now what I'm going to do is do it again, but I'm going to use the complementary colors. Complementary colors are opposites on the color wheel. So in this color wheel, you can follow the line from one primary color down to a secondary color. Red and green make brown. Another combination is one primary color blue goes across to the secondary color orange, and the primary color yellow goes to the secondary color purple. So if I'm lucky, I have some colors on my color wheel, and if not, I'm going to get plenty of practice mixing colors, which is the whole idea of this thing anyway. Okay, so I'm going to follow each complementary color set, and I'm going to make another shade of brown. So I have orange and blue. Which one's the lighter color? Orange. Most of my orange is gone, but if I mix it up here a little bit, I have orange. I'll add a dot of blue. Blue goes a long way. You will know instantly if you get too much blue in your color. So it doesn't matter which wedge. The wedges don't really go with the lines. They're just kind of in there. This is kind of an orangey color. It's not quite blue yet, or brown yet, so I'm going to add a tiny bit more blue. Try and get it more brown. There we go. There are a lot of different shades. Could I mix these so they all come out to the same exact shade? I absolutely could, but I don't need to because the whole idea is to learn how to mix colors. And so you can get the colors you want. So this one is O for orange and B for blue. All right, next one. We're going to do red and green. So I got a clean brush here. I'm going to pick up some red. My green, gone. So I need some green. How did I make green? Remember, yellow with a little bit of blue. I'm going to take that green. I'm going to mix in some red. I don't need much. These wedges are really tiny. Green and red seems to make like a really nice chocolatey brown. I can leave it in that slightly reddish range. Look at that, a nice reddish brown. So this one is red and green, R and G. If I wanted to, I could pick up a tiny bit more of my green and change that guy a little bit. Because now this is also red and green, but it's closer to the orange and blue one, isn't it? So the idea here is that you just know that primary colors can make brown. And because they do, a primary and a secondary make brown. A primary and a secondary make brown. And what ends up happening is when you have a primary color, it's the exact opposite on the color wheel, is its complementary color, and they will make brown. The only one we haven't done is the purple and the yellow. We'll do that real quick. We don't have any purple, so I need a little bit of purple. I'm going to take some red and some blue. And that made really dark purple, so I'm going to add more red in. Add that dot into my yellow. And I get a nice brown. This one's a little more greenish, but not too much. It's kind of like the last one I just did. Or maybe it's actually closer to the first one I did. Reads a little in the green. So this is yellow and purple. So what we want you to remember with this is brush control, stay in the lines. Primary colors first, red, yellow, and blue. Mix your secondary color. It goes halfway between those primaries. Orange, green, and purple are your primaries. Then you're going to work your way around the tertiary color wheel. When you're done, you're going to be able to mark those colors by name if you want to. You're going to use your primary colors to make brown and all your complementary colors which follow on the line. And then when we get into a more complicated color theory class, we're going to talk about how orange and blue or any complementary colors kill each other. So if you're looking to take a bright color and deaden it, you're going to be able to use those complementary colors. So let's get those vocabulary words in, and I will talk to you soon.